Okay, next we're going to look at something called the standardized test statistic. This is very similar to what was called our z-score, or the Z, when we worked with the normal distribution. In maybe unit, I think 3, we worked with something called the normal distribution. Luckily for us, we are going to look at how to calculate this by hand, but for us, we will use the calculator, the graphing calculator usually, to calculate this for us. We will, again, look at how to find this by hand again, just for understanding, but on assessments, I will expect you to be using the calculator to calculate this, which is much easier. And so it basically, what the test statistic does is it measures how far your sample is if the from the null hypothesis, if the null hypothesis were true. And so the further your test statistic is from your null, or from zero, the more evidence we have that the null hypothesis is not true. And again, I think this will be easier to see with an example, but for now, this is the formula. We are going to use this formula in the next example. Notice we have a couple of notation here. Remember, p hat is the sample proportion. So let's write that down. P hat is the sample proportion. That's actually what we obtain from our sample. And P naught is the proportion that we're testing against, or like our null hypothesis, or I'll write the null hypothesis proportion, what we're testing against. But we already saw what N is. N is the sample size. And so those will all be important for us, the sample size. Uh-oh.